Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM23 Lions, episode 142. We're in the middle of the Tour de France. We're going to continue on with that here in a moment, but a very brief update on that life tracker. Some of you may have noticed by now that with the introduction of four new series and only one outgoing, and I already know that at least one of them is not going to end up sticking, and it'll help free up my schedule a little bit. But at the moment, overloaded, like way too much going on. It is going to possibly impact the length of this episode as well, as I'm heading here shortly to the second of two track meets for this week. We practice every single day, and as the head coach, like, I've got a lot on my plate. In fact, I have so much on my plate that the starter for today's track meet isn't even going to be there, and so not only do I have to wear the hat of head coach and the hat of track meet organizer, but I also have to wear the hat. It's a home meet today. I also have to wear the hat of starter. So I got a lot going on. A lot. But some of you may have noticed that I backed off on going from 3 episodes a week to 2 now with Monday and Friday for this series until it wraps up at the end of the season. That one episode slot has gone to one of those other series. I've done a similar thing with a couple of other series, so that freed up a few slots. I had one available opening, so that was a couple slots, and it ended up being 5 slots for 6 new games. So it didn't create a whole lot of new issues for me. I'm just about squeaking out 2 episodes a day, but staying busy with spring and grass growing a foot in less than 2 weeks. Having to mow that constantly, it's like there's a lot. Speaking of a lot, we got a lot left to do. Let's get to it. Stage 10 is now complete. It finished with a 21-kilometer climb, even though it was only a 4% average gradient. That was definitely beyond the realm of our punchers. So current leader is Joao Almeida, with Paulus and Evenepoel on the podium. Pogacar off the podium for the time being, and Clote is 20th. Stage 11, another mountain stage. We'll definitely sit this one out and see how the progression of these guys are going. Grayson Schultz, his fitness peak has ended, so his usefulness is going to fade significantly from here on out, but the team is starting to get in that good shape, prepared. We have at least one of our sprinters now on a fitness peak. Maccabee, I don't think is gonna get there. Almeida taking a slender win over Vingegaard. Vingegaard up onto the podium for the time being, and Pogacar's all the way down to 7th. Stage 12 is another mountain stage. Clote jumped to 15th in that last one, even though we didn't see him at the top of the standings, but he just lost less time compared to others here. 12th place, just 29 seconds down. That's impressive. Doesn't really match the on paper that you would expect, but he has that team leader role, so supported. And without bonuses, he's kind of hanging in there. Almeida still leads. Vingegaard's now 2nd, with Lenny Martinez now 3rd. Paulus dropping off the podium. Evenepoel has dropped to 9th. Pogacar has dropped to 8th already, as you're seeing pretty substantial differences in the standings. We're now on to stage number 13 as we begin the final classified ascent of the day. The first couple riders from the breakaway are nearly brought back in. We're still chasing down the others. Chase started a little bit late, and I can only afford 2 drops so far. Right now, that's the middle of the peloton, and it's still pretty early in the climb, so we're going to up the effort a bit, up to a 79, and let them push a little harder so they don't drift back too fast. Now about halfway up the climb. No, not really. Now it's about half. But we are holding our position a lot better than before. Schultz looks like he's not going to make it much farther. Okay, another big acceleration. It's still 900 meters to the top. Maccabee is the guy who's furthest back, so he needs to accelerate a lot more. Even an 84 is not cutting it for him. There you go. There's that foot down. And he is okay. Meanwhile, we have lost Schultz. So we're down 1 rider. The others will get some recovery in, at least a little bit here shortly. we'll also get everybody back up into position. But we've got a very long, gentle slope that's going to make this run in to the finish not easy. Speaking of not easy, is the fact that even though we have a neutral draw, I don't know if it's an exact 0. It might be a -1 or -2 for the day, but it's fairly neutral. Even though overall we got a decent draw, the two sprinters combined for a -3 draw. As we already saw, the expected +5 for Daniels got a +3, and the expected 0 for Maccabee, he's got a -1. Maccabee is definitely the lead out rider based on that race day condition, as we do the impossible and try to win a proper sprint. The one good thing going for us on this one is the difficulty of climbing, which suits others much better than it suits us. But there's a chance anyway, as we'll try to reset this for kind of the final run-in. Get everybody on an 82 now that they're in position. 20k to go. Definitely too early to push. For one, we've already burnt through Schultz, and he's gone. But De Villiers isn't going to last long. Clote isn't going to last long. Maccabee is not going to last long. I think Russo is going to end up having to be our sprinter today. Or lead-out sprinter, that is. 14k. We've caught the breakaway group. They're still pushing on. This is still very high tempo. I'm going to wait. Hold. Okay, De Villiers, get that gel clicking a little bit earlier. This little climb is probably one of the best spots to try to do something with this. De Villiers will get out there fast, really too fast if we push too hard. Oh, and here's the other thing too. Clote is still 15th place. He's going to take a very, very quick turn and then go to the back. And then Maccabee, even though he's got that 80 sprint, he's not going to make it. He's out of contention for this thing. Musa will go next. Okay, so Clote's going to get out there first. Easing off. We do not want to push long with him. And actually, Maccabee's going to be the one taking over here shortly. We're waiting on De Villiers to essentially fade. Okay, Clote to the back, please. Don't get burnt. It's a sprint stage, man. It's a sprint stage. Don't lose time today, please. On to Musa. There's that big push as we go over the top. It's the last hurrah. GC is mattering a little more right now, as it's Clote. 7.4k. $6k. On a Kareem. 5k. Clote's still hanging in there. He is still hanging in there. 3.4k. Here come the others. To that 99. 2.8. 2.5. We've already been squeezed. 2k. Russo's going to start sprinting, but he's not even getting out of the saddle yet. And Daniels doesn't have a great race day condition. This is definitely not going to be a win. Russo's doing pretty dang well. Hanging on. He's going to fade in the final meters. The biggest thing, though, is Clote. Please don't lose time. Vintar takes the win ahead of Pedersen and Koish. Team was too weak to handle a hard push to the finish line. Clote gets 57th on the stage, and just fingers crossed there's no time gaps given it is a sprint stage. It's rare to see them given. Clote did get same time. Just behind us, Ben O'Connor lost time. Pidcock, Vermeersch all lost time. Arnsman, Uchabrooks was definitely up there in the standings. In fact, they moved up. Vlasov lost significant time, and we gained some time on others. So a sprint stage just turned out with some GC hopefuls losing time. Overall, Philipsen now leads the points classification. He's got a relatively healthy margin there. Huising leads the mountain classification, and you know he's not going to hang on to that as he is a non-climber. It's still early days. I would imagine he's going to lose that pretty soon. There's a lot of points still to be had. Clote has a minute and a half advantage over Alberti, who has a 79 mountain. I have a feeling with some big climbs come, even though he's that protected later, he will drop out of that position. Musa is 7th, though, in that. And as a team, we are 13th, 27 minutes down. Stage 14 offers a very different challenge to us. It's a punchy stage, sure, but there's a lot of undulation on the way, and current team leader has crashed with Almeida. Clote is going again. Is Almeida not? But the uniqueness of this stage is just the sheer quantity of climbing that we have to do, especially near the end of the stage. As you know, you can see Clote here is struggling to get back into position. I'm actually going to end up using him as our water guy here shortly, but let's push that a little bit harder. It's going to make that heart rate go that much higher and burn that energy that much faster, but it's like one of the teams has decided that Clote off the back is what they want. There you go. Okay, get water. Get the heart rate down a little bit and then get back up into that position. Yeah, see, all of a sudden riders are getting dropped. I need somebody to protect. Do that now while he's getting the water. Schultz went to get water himself, but he's going to get dropped. See you later. Oh my gosh, Clote just fell again. Clote just fell again. Holy crap. He's got nothing now. He's going to lose time today. Well, so much for the Young Riders classification, which looked a bit of a pipe dream to begin with, but we didn't get water here either. And now Maccabee needs to get out of the group quickly. Reason being is somebody like Kareem is going to have much further to go. All of a sudden we're down to 5 riders. Down to just 5 riders yet to get water, and Clote's already 5 minutes down. 2 crashes has ruined. I didn't expect much from him. GC, I was surprised he was as high as he was, and with somebody only a minute behind him, I mean, it felt like that Young Riders jersey was not going to be his for long, but he is getting bonus points for wearing it day after day. You do get a daily haul for that, but we need a reset. We've got here Daniels is obviously going to protect our guys, and that's Musa and De Villiers. We're sort of hang on to back of Musa, and we're heading into the final preparatory climb. Breakaway of 8, minute 40 advantage for them. We will get recovery on the descent, which means as long as they make it over the top of this one, we should have 3 to 4 guys here for the final climb. And they do. 95 left in the peloton, make that 93. We did see the attack of some riders. Let's check in on what's happened there. Hoising KOM guy. Rote is here. 104th overall, not doing anything useful. And the third guy with them is Goodwin. Goodwin's competitive, 19th overall. Simmons, they've caught up to. He's very punchy. Rue, Ferguson, Delorme. Delorme's strong candidate for a stage today. Those guys have about a 1 minute advantage. We do have a flat section coming up here that will see them lose a little bit of ground, but the 2 punchers are ready to climb. Kareem, decent amount of recovery. Russo is nearly fully recovered. And actually, now thinking about the punchiness side, Kareem is a better puncher. So we're going to back off, and Russo is going to protect De Villiers now. And then we will follow Musa. Do we want to ride for Musa with an 84 or an 82 for De Villiers? I think that's pretty obvious. And we're at 8K to go. We're going to want to get out front before the base of the climb. We're 6K from the top of the climb. The climb itself is 3 kilometers at 10%. We want to be at the front at the base of the climb, which means we need to get moving now. 3 riders left off the front, 36 seconds. We've pulled back 20 of that. And they've got a very strong climber in that group, which means they are not going to be an easy catch. Yeah, we definitely want Musa because we do want a second shot at getting that dice roll with, another victory. So getting us into position quickly. Big acceleration here. Don't need to go 99 now as we're pulling out front. 30 seconds to those guys. They're going to be a little bit easier to catch because it's just 3 of them, so they can't go that hard or fast. Daniels is done, so on to Russo. 2.6K. Here comes the first sprinters. 2K to go to the top. So on to Kareem. Our lead-out guys are not strong enough punchers to really set up our 2 main guys. It's still 1.4K. On to Villiers. Can he find a gap through, and can Musa follow him through the gap? The answer is no. There's Almeida. De Villiers is able to come through, but Musa is drained by time De Villiers gets there. 1.7K, full sprint. De Villiers, can he hang on? He's got a 12 second advantage. Oh, he is going to hang on. We're going to win our 3rd stage of this race, but it's not Musa this time. It's De Villiers ahead of Pidcock. Musa has been sprinting, but he was too far down the order. De Villiers found that gap, pushed through. Musa, by the time he got a gap, it was too late, and he could not catch De Villiers there. So that is our 3rd win of this Tour de France there with Josh De Villiers. We're at the 2/3 point. And Claude's hopes are gone. 17 minutes down today from down just 6:46 prior. He is without hope now. There's nothing that he can do to get back. Our GC conversation, our under 25s conversation, are now a total moot point. Now it's literally just about stages, which is all it ever was in the first place, but Clote was putting in a very strong performance up until his double crash day. And even if I had sent a rider back to support him after the first crash to bring him up, it doesn't change the fact that he fell a second time, and that still would have impacted him the exact same way. De Villiers, 8 seconds of separation on that one. Musa is now 34th overall, otherwise we are totally out of it. Almeida leads from Vingegaard and Martinez. De Villiers is now 4th in the points classification with that stage win, his 2nd of this race. Musa is down to 5th. He's gone from 6 minutes down overall to 6 minutes down in the under 25s. We have moved up a spot in the team classification, but otherwise, boo-hoo, woe is us. Looking at the stage profiles here real quick, we have a sprint stage here for 15, 3 mountain stages, and then 2 more chances in the final 3 to do something, but we are done with the punchy days. 3 punchy stages, and we won all 3 of them. We won all 3 punchy stages at this Tour de France. 100% win rate. Stage 15, final climb. Schultz, first guy to fade. In fact, he's fading fast, and the peloton split very quickly there, right at the base of the climb, and suddenly we find ourselves not just near the front, but towards the back already. So we've got to push on here. That sprint point led to a big acceleration by a few of the sprinters that are still in the sprint classification. Find ourselves with just 76 riders chasing. That's not their breakaway, is it? Okay. That was some guys going for a quick attack there. No wonder it split the field. That's all that's left of the breakaway. Good riders up there. But the tempo has lifted now since pulling that group back. We're at 83 in the peloton, which definitely means there's going to be some sprinters either in trouble or out the back. And while we are in a little bit of trouble ourselves here, it's not serious trouble as we go to hit the top. And with 81, the biggest question right now is whether we can catch the front group, because we only have 78, so we don't have as much firepower to pull that back. In fact, our numbers are dropping relatively quickly here now, just 74. We're still a minute 44 down on that front three. Looks like they'll get caught. Looks like. But it's definitely not guaranteed. Maccabee, he was protected by Schultz. He is no longer. He's too weak. He will not make it. So he'll be going out the back. So he won't be part of the sprint again today. Daniels has a better +4. I mean, we're race day condition better by 2 than what it was on our last attempted sprint, which of course that last attempted sprint could have gone differently in a couple of ways. One, I could have pushed less hard, which would have resulted in, less of like what we're seeing right now with a fairly decimated field. But those are the scenarios where I thrive, right? When we cause damage, that's when we get wins. That's when we get the surprise results. And as Clote's out the back, and Maccabee is very fatigued here, we're looking at just 60 riders chasing 3 who still have a 1-minute advantage with 17K to go. But I think we're looking pretty dang good to catch them. But De Villiers, Maccabee are both done. We need to get them gelled up now so they can at least give us a little bit of a lead out. We are still catching those front 3. It's down to 53 seconds. Last section of descent and recovery coming in just a moment at 14K. Can we push yet? Not quite. We are going to push before the bottom, though. But the thing about making it hard is that's where we set ourselves up for success. So if we went less hard, we're still available at the end of the race. But if we go less hard, everybody's available at the end of the race, and there's too many good quality sprinters. So our best shot is to push, to be aggressive. It's worked on those hill stages, but the sprints, we're too weak for one thing, but for a second, it's just the nature of the beast. There's too many talented around. But today is a much better shot than normal because there's only 60 riders here, and I've got 6 of them. I've got 10% of this field, which is proportionally much higher than and at 9K to go. We've definitely done some damage. We're down to 4 guys, so we can't push 100%. But if we keep pushing, keep the field under pressure, odds are there's going to be a sprinter or 10 that is either not here because there's only 60 left and they didn't make it to this point, or they're going to be weak. As we catch the breakaway, that rules them out. And at 5K to go, we're going to go 99 here with Musa. 4K to go. We're going to come out of this one with an acceleration from Kareem. Gels for those last 2. And we are positioned extremely well. This is definitely the best chance we will have had in a long time. I was hoping for a tighter corner here, but we're going to start our sprint. Rusum. And Daniels into the final kilometer. He's so well positioned, but it's not good enough, and he's blocked off. He's blocked off. I thought he had a gap between Vanderpool and Russo, and he didn't cut that gap, and he ended up backing out and trying to pick a new line. I thought he had the gap. Otherwise, I would have tried to move Russo out of the way. But Caleb Ewan takes the win. Even then, there was about 4 guys that he was not going to be head-to-head. He would have been better than 10th for sure, but he would have been no better than 5th or 6th. Anyway, he's not going to beat those guys head-to-head, especially with the acceleration issues that he has. But I thought the gap was there. I thought the gap was on, and missing that is my bad. But like I said, at best, he's not going to overtake Vanderpool, who's ahead of him. He's not going to get ahead of those guys. Starting the acceleration at the time we did, at the rate of acceleration plus the gap. If the gap's open, better than it was, but it's not better than Ewan or the others around him. Well, folks, with 3 mountain stages to come, and then the last few stages to come after that, we will finish this race up in quite a bit less than 1 more episode. But that does it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.